Assalamu alaikum, namaste, hotep, shalom alaikum, peace. This is Tracy Lene Muhammad, and I just wanted a few minutes of your very valuable and your very precious time to do what I like to do, which is share with you the thoughts that come from me, downloads I like to call them, from the divine, known by many names. And I have grown so much in my space that I respect whatever you believe, because you have a right to believe it. I have grown so much in my space that I know that whatever I believe is valid because I get to believe it. So I am sharing from my experience. I believe each of us on this planet could do a YouTube channel and share from our experience and give the world so much. The different perspectives that we would gain, even those whom we judge or deem stupid or evil or petty or wrong, it's still their perspective. I'm wondering, with this pandemic, which is more detrimental to the cosmic flow of things? People living in fear or people living in denial? So as the weather was beautiful yesterday, and I live in Virginia, and we have a place we call the river. And people go and they sit on the rocks and sunbathe and get in the water. And the river was crowded yesterday. I know this because of news reports, because I definitely was not one there, because I'm not in denial about this thing. I'm also not in fear, thinking that it's the zombie apocalypse coming, or that I'm going to have to, have shotguns ready and my dogs ready and martial law. I believe there's a balance in between, where this planet, this amazing ball that we get to live on, is utilizing the law of balance, and we are so out of balance. I say this next thing, and I pray it is taken properly and not as a slight or pettiness, but as a Black woman, I have experienced my ancestry, what Asian Americans or Asians are experiencing now, which is extreme prejudice based upon your ethnicity. I believe that's saying it right. So Asian people are being harmed, and by people of color, and by Jamaicans, and by Black people, and by Caucasian people, they're being harmed. And that is horrible. But I would love to have seen the outcry from the Asian community when Trayvon Martin was murdered, when Sandra Bland was murdered, when many of our people were murdered just because they were Black. Welcome to my world, where stereotypes get you murdered. I'm in no way making fun of you, but I'm hoping that the compassion that will be shown to everyone around the world. I do understand that hurting people hurt others. And when I saw the video of the Jamaican man taunting and about to physically attack the little Asian girl, I had two emotions: shame and sadness. Shame that I belong in his category in terms of our skin color, and sadness that she had to endure being attacked. And then I saw people coming to her aid, and I felt better because then she was not attacked. Then there was a Latino man who cut an Asian boy and his father in the Costco. And I again felt shame, guilt, and sadness, because coming from people who've been oppressed, it angers me when we then take that same oppression and try to put it on someone else. But I understand how it happens. We have not figured out how to lash out at the real enemy of us all, which is the thought that 1% of the population should control the other 99% in every way. The balance has to come, and whether we like it or not, it is going to come. We can, when you're swimming, and they say if the tide starts to get stronger, the best thing for you to do is to relax in the water and let the water take you where it will, because the water will take you back into calmness if you relax. But most times, many people drown because they don't trust that, and they panic, and you cannot win against the current. That current is going to sweep you up, and if you're panicked, then you can't even see the ways out because you're in panic. And some of this is panic, some of this is denial, but there are those persons who are seeing this for what it is and sending out this loving, compassionate energy. I was talking to two of my very best friends. I call them my sisters. They like, our energy is just so together. And I sew. And about 3 weeks ago when I was in Atlanta, before I went, I'd made a mask to wear on the plane. This was before it was known that it was really getting out. Just that being on the plane, you can get colds, you can get anything. And I said, I'm going to make these masks and sell them. But then there was a part of me, I call it my soul's voice, that said, no, you're not. You are not going to earn money off the panic or need of others. Now, I'm not saying that people who are making the masks and selling them, that that's what they're doing. I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying that that's not a business opportunity. But it would be hypocritical for me that does not agree fully with the capitalistic society to then capitalize on it. So I decided I may make a few and give them to my friends that are in healthcare. I also decided to decline because the ones that we have access to don't protect against this coronavirus at all. So it may be cute to have a sequins mask around your face, but it's not protecting you. There are things you can put in it that'll do better than nothing, yes, because if nothing else, you don't touch your face. So this is something I had to come to terms with. The same as when Michael Jackson transitioned, or Prince, or Kobe. I made the conscious choice not to make something with their names on it and try to make a profit. It didn't feel right to me, but I'm not judging or deciding what somebody else should do, because that's not my place. I am of the belief that when you decide what somebody else should do, the focus is no longer on your life. You are minding their business. And since you fully can't mind nobody else's business, your business is just going, your garden is going unattended. Weeds are growing and it's drying out, the soil is drying out, and nothing is becoming of your life. So I made a choice a while ago to focus only on Tracy. I don't believe that it is my right to even tell my children what to do. I believe that as their guide, I can give them, this is this, and this is the consequence if you live in my house and do X, Y, and Z. But at the end of the day, they have to make those choices. I want them to make them because it's the best choice for them at that moment, not because they're scared of me. Because anything you fear, you will rebel against eventually. We see that in this world. Whenever fear is present, so is rebellion. So there's a balance between letting your children run amok and beating them for everything they do but breathe. And finding that balance is with each child. My daughter, I have a grandchild now, and I was apologizing to my children for sometimes raising them with fear and spanking them, beating them for things to control them into my way. I said, I can't take that back. I can only apologize and pray that you forgive me. And, you know, my daughter was like, well, you didn't abuse us. You just beat our asses if we did things that we shouldn't have done. I said, no, I shouldn't have done that. That's my thought process. I'm not saying that the Bible doesn't say spare the rod and spoil the child, but I do believe that that book has been so tainted, and perhaps the slave master put that in there to justify beating the crap and beating my ancestors to death sometimes. So they use that analogy to kind of justify it. I'm not saying you shouldn't spank your children, or you should. That's not for me to decide for you. I'm saying that I wish I had have thought of a better way. Like my father, he only beat us if we lied to him. And I'm giving you a real case example. I was about 10 or 11, and my sister and I had washed our doll babies' clothes, and we wanted them to dry quickly. And so we put them on the lamp, on the bulb, and it caught fire. It took some time to catch fire because we were doing something else. We started smelling the burning. So I grabbed it. We were in the room. I grabbed it, flung it in the hall, and slammed the door and just stayed in the room. The doll baby clothes caught fire to the step. My mother was in the kitchen. She ran up. She saw that the step was on fire. It wasn't a whole lot, but it was on fire. And she got some water. She doused it out. And then she's like, Tracy, Alexis, are you guys okay? So we opened the door, and she could tell right then. She said, what was that? And we started lying. And my father came out of the room, and you see a little piece of it. He asked us again, and we lied again. And we got our asses beat. And my father said, I'm not beating you for throwing it out and catching fire. I'm beating you for lying about it. And you could have hurt yourselves or could have killed us. And you wouldn't even tell the truth. He gave us 3 times. I didn't lie after that because I knew that lying. No, let me rephrase it. Yes, I did. I was lying to my mama when I wanted to go places. So let me take that right on off the table. I didn't lie to my daddy no more. I still lied to my mama because I wanted to be able to do stuff as a teenager that she wouldn't let me do. But I didn't lie to my father anymore because my mama was going to beat you whether you told truth or not. But my father, I never lied to him again. And even when he left our lives out of his own stuff, I always honored that he taught me that lying never gets you anywhere. And then when I became an adult, I'm sorry about this noise. Well, not sorry about it, but I know you hear it. I hope that they're okay. I certainly hope that wherever they're going. You know, as soon as I said that, my thought process was, don't hope anything or wish anything, because whatever the will is, sometimes they could be headed off to somebody that's raping their daughter, and then they had a heart attack. So yeah, let me rephrase that. Anyway, back to not lying and being truthful and being honest and understanding that this universe has got to right these wrongs, and that telling the truth is the best. If you've listened to me this long, not only am I honored, hello, how y'all doing? Good. Not only am I honored that you listened to me that long, it is an absolute privilege to have your ear. I hope that not only this day, but all of your days be filled with gratitude and beauty, honesty, loyalty, and light. If you haven't had an opportunity to check out the Netflix series on Madam C.J. Walker, it's a good one to watch. It's a good one to watch for my people because we can see the tenacity she had to give us something more, to leave a legacy. And it's a good opportunity for other people to see what we went through to have just a little bit of anything. And compassion is needed on both sides. Thank you so much for listening. Assalamu alaikum, namaste, hotep, shalom alaikum, peace out to Brooklyn and everywhere else.